Welcome back to Top Tier Teachers. Thanks for joining me. I want to share with you my first day of school slideshow. So it's just really important for me to introduce a culture of learning. So when the students come in, their first assignment is, they are instructed to begin their first assignment. This year, 2023, I used a handout. So as students, I stood at the door, I had my roster printed, and I had to check their schedule, their approved schedule from the counselor, to verify the right student was in the right classroom. You don't want to let somebody in the room and they're supposed to be somewhere else. So that is an adult problem if students are in the wrong classroom. So I stand at the door to greet and welcome them back to school, check the schedule, my schedule with theirs, and I instruct them to pick up a handout and read the board, which is what the slideshow is projected. So this is what they see. And as you can see, their assignment, I introduced them to a culture of learning the very first day. I do not have, and I've been teaching 30 years, so I've done a variety of activities, but what I found to be the most effective is actually letting them start with something that is content related. These students, I have advanced middle school students, so they had a summer reading that they had to complete. So there was an activity where they had to write a few sentences about what they read this summer. And if they didn't read this summer, share about a book that you've read in the last year. So I could have done two truths and a lie or something that was team building acquainted. But I found over the years that if you start that very first lesson content based, if you're a math teacher, have some math questions up, science teacher, something science related, introduce the class to show them, hey, we learn, we are gathered here every day. We gather here every day for learning. We want it to be pleasant. So yes, there will be team building activities, but I want to send the very message on the first day that this first assignment is about learning. Okay. After that, I established that. So let me go back here. When the bell rings, I close the door. Immediately, I go into the crowd. Teachers like to check roll. I just check roll at the door. Yes, the administrators are going to be needing the load count, but on the very first day, I have to show teacher, and I do this every day. This is not just first day, okay? So what happens is I go into the crowd immediately. Are these kids on task? So I had some Jolly Ranchers on the first day, and I do this regularly, not just the first day, but I'll go in, thank you for being on task, because of course they're talking, it's the first day, they want, hey, no. And so instead of fussing at the kids who weren't on task, I gave Jolly Ranchers to the kids. Thank you for having a sheet of paper on your desk. Thank you for writing your name on your paper. Thank you for reading the instructions. And I just walked around the room real quick. It's like a blitz. I blitzed the room, and then because it's the first day, I doubled back because the kids who did not get a piece of candy, they corrected their behavior. And so I said, oh, thank you for correcting your behavior and starting the class. Thank you for starting the class. And I'm projecting my voice intentionally. I won't do this necessarily on down, once we establish order, but it's the very first 5 minutes of class. That's what I do. Okay, so now we've introduced a culture of learning, and I have rewarded the kids for being on task. And then after I go, now they're working, so they see I didn't go immediately to my computer. I didn't go immediately behind my desk. I came into the crowd to check on them, and I do this every single day. After that, I then input the attendance, and the next step is to welcome them to the class. I have a welcome letter. You can read you can listen to the welcome video that I have. If you go back to the series, looking through my videos, you'll see a welcome letter. If you want that, I read the welcome letter, and then I continue. After I welcome them officially, I go over the norms. So they don't know how this meeting is conducted. It's the first day of school. What if I need to use the restroom? What do I do with this candy wrapper that you just gave me? What's going on in this class? So let's talk about the norms. So you have, when we have as adults, they always say, okay, if you need to use the restroom, it's here. If you need to use your cell phone, it's there. So I always do the norms. They don't know me. I don't know them. This isn't about discipline. This is about how will we conduct this meeting today? And then I go over a slideshow about myself. I share things like my family. There's my only grandbaby, Finley. I talk about my experience, my education. I give a little bit of personal background about my lifestyle, the way I like to think, my faith. And then, after I've gone through all of that, I actually play I'm Gonna Love You Like I'm Gonna Lose You. I let them know, I said, you don't know me yet, so you don't love me yet, but you are going to fall in love with me. I already love you. It's really, they're looking at, I want them to look at me and be, have an awkward moment like, ooh, this lady's crazy. Because I want to show my personality. Since I run a tight classroom management is impeccable, I'm really strict. I want them to see that I'm fun and I'm being intentionally goofy. So what I do here is I play the song and I start dancing around the room. I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose. And they are just sniggling and giggling, and it's really funny. But I want them to know how they're going to experience me, that as tough as I may be, I'm going to love you. Then, because I was a summer birthday, I celebrate birthdays. So on the very first day of school. So, and I have treat bags. I do, since it's awkward to give kids a kiss, I do Hershey's Hugs. So I get Hershey's. I have like 3 Hershey's Hugs in the treat bag, 3 Starburst, maybe 1 or 2 Tootsie Roll Blow Pops or something like that. And I announce, now I celebrate birthdays every single month. I only pick one day of the month, maybe about the first or second week in, and this is all the whole school year. But the very first day of school, because I'm a summer baby and teachers never paid attention to me as a summer baby, out of trauma, I make sure I acknowledge the summer babies on the first day of school. And so we put their names are posted in the room, but on that first day, I do celebrate them. Okay. I also go over homework information, and we do have homework, meaning I need them to become established, get familiar with the class learning system. So that's my first day slideshow. Hopefully you have, you're inspired to do the same if you haven't. Now, I'm not really good with technology, so please don't judge the quality of my slideshow and how the font may be different and it's not all the same color. I do know how to do that, but I just want to get the information out. Okay? Leave any questions or comments in the comments below, and I will do the best I can to support you. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you.